The Stage Door Show, celebrating the independent artist. With your host, Dave Hondell.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to The Stage Door Show. Tonight, this is Dave Hondell. Tonight, my guest is another great new artist out of the beautiful country of Canada, who's recently collaborated with a friend of our show, Grammy-nominated record producer Roy Hamilton III, and has put together some inspirational singles that we all can get into. And can't wait to talk to him about those singles and future work. So let's welcome Nick Derusha to the show. Thanks for being with us, Nick.
Hey, Dave. Thanks for having me. Super excited to be here.
Yeah, me too. We're excited to have you. And, I know I just mentioned that you worked with Roy Hamilton III, which is somebody we had on the show, and he's very inspirational, and like, who hasn't he worked with? And so talk about the relationship between you and him, and how did that kind of get started?
I mean, so far, first of all, it's been a blessing, just to meet Roy and have him in my life. And like you said, with the resume that he has, it almost feels surreal to me that I'm still like trying to process, that I worked with him. But it basically happened. I saw that he had a contest going for his company, the Singers Company. And I saw that he was, hosting a contest, and I applied, but I think I applied just like on the deadline or something. And so I remember a few months passed after the contest, and I had forgotten about it and everything. And I gotten an email from Roy directly saying that he was extremely interested in talking to me because he had read my story, because I had sent my biography, to him. And basically, he was super interested in my biography, and he had listened to my song and told me that it was extremely unique, and he was really, really interested in working with me. And from there, we started collaborating, and he's been a great mentor for me. He's showed me so many things so far from the music industry, and even still now, he shows me so many different things. And again, I'm super grateful to have found him as a mentor, and now even to consider him a friend is like, it's awesome.
Yeah. And that song you're talking about, Deja Vu, just came out on May 13th of this year. And, I talk about that, the writing of that song and the producing of that song, because, obviously it was just released. It's a great song, and we want all our listeners to listen to it. But talk about the creation of Deja Vu and really what it's all about.
All right. So basically, it was a little bit of a weird story. I had tried to get back into a relationship with an old flame. So basically an old relationship that I had in the past. It didn't really work out the first time. There was a lot of issues in that relationship. But years later, we have found each other again. It was really when we were younger that we tried the first relationship. And so we found each other again years later and hoped maybe things would be different. And finally, things didn't end up well. So there came the idea of the Deja Vu. With that, I kind of had like an idea of like a fairy tale as well, like going bad. And so it kind of gave me like, I always thought like of like a Rapunzel story, but like where she doesn't want to be saved. So like she kind of like doesn't let the knight in shining armor come and save her. So like I kind of had that idea with the song, and then it all came together with Roy. It actually took us about 3 different producers and engineers to come in, because it was kind of like pretty complex from what I understood from Roy, because in its way it's unique and everything. It has like different layers with my voice and everything.
If I told you that I miss you, heck, I'd even think I'd kiss you. But the truth is we're not meant to be, we both know that's an issue. You thought this was a fairy tale, so better grab a tissue. Can't be a knight in shining armor or the one to save you. I'd be lying if I said I didn't see the way the story ends. Denying my emotions, and I'm sorry, I just can't pretend. So this is the end. This is the end. This is the end. It's deja vu. It's deja vu. It's deja vu.
it all just came together with Roy and again, like the engineers. We also had a guitarist come in and do a riff, and it was a super awesome experience to work with them and to write that song with the singers company and Roy.
So when did you get started in singing and doing music? I mean, at what point in your life did you, discover, I guess, that you had the talent to do music?
Yeah. Well, singing, I mean, I've been doing it my whole life. More like I just started like taking professional classes and everything just in the last 2 years that I started. But before that, I mean, I just sang, for the fun of it. I was really into, I grew up with a lot of different music around me. Like every single person in my family had like a different genre that they were interested in. And so I always had like a different blend. And basically from there, I started singing to songs like I was really into System of a Down. I really started singing with Serge, the singer. I wanted to basically sing like Serge and Darren, both of the singers. So I System of a Down, and I always tried to copy them. And basically, that's it. So I just sang all the time when I was younger, and now since the pandemic, I started working on music. It's actually a funny story. I used to work as a travel insurance agent, and basically during the pandemic, with all the traveling that stopped, it actually gave me an opportunity to work on music during the downtime. I was actually being paid I was, working on the side, but we actually had like so much downtime that it actually gave me so much time to start doing music and everything. So I, for the fun of it, started producing my own beats on a program I have here, and then it started, it started clicking, and I started from there writing songs on the beats, and from there I started showing friends, family, and they were like, oh, you got something really special here. And I knew in a way that it was very different and unique in a way, and it had its own like kind of like storytelling in a way. So I knew it kind of had something special. But yeah, that's when I knew that I really wanted to like make an album and really wanted to do something about it. Was at that point was after the pandemic. I really decided that this was what I wanted to do with my life, and it's really what I love to do. And I'm so passionate about music. I mean, like I said, like it's been around me my whole life, so it's definitely a love of mine that I have, and I don't see myself stopping anytime.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, that's wonderful that you discovered that love for music. Because I know we kind of talked before we started recording, and I've seen a lot of your videos on social media, and you and I turns out have kind of a similar, I guess childhood, being in, I guess. An abusive household, or and it's I think it kind of formed who we are as people. And has that helped you being kind of the way you grew up? I mean, does that kind of help you in some of your songwriting and inspiration, I guess, to to I guess come up with some of your lyrics, I guess, for your songs or your melodies?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely plays a big role in like some of my songs. I mean, a lot of my lyrics actually come from a lot of my traumas. If you listen to like songs like Alien, it's actually in a song that I don't feel like I belong, and so like it was really like feelings that I had during those times. With living in a abusive household, it was definitely a challenge, and it definitely does shape you as a person. I mean, some people do choose, like there are people that choose to grow from these things and to break the cycle, but there are also people that choose to use that as an excuse, unfortunately. But I'm really someone that believes that to treat others the way we want to be treated. So to me, to break the cycle and everything was important, and that's it. I really like to incorporate like my growth and the self-love that I've worked on in these past years, because it's been I've been working, to find my happiness for years. Because after you live in a household that's abusive physically, but also mentally, to a point where you're being dragged down from people that are supposed to be there for you as well. It can really play a lot in your mental state and everything. So it took me a long time to find happiness. And even now, I'm still not, I'm still, and I know I'm never, no one can ever be perfect, but, still striving for a little bit more of happiness every day. But that's it. It's just, sometimes you choose to I just chose to go the path that I thought was right. And with my music, that's it. I just really want to promote that after dark can come light. And another thing that maybe not a lot of people know about me is that I was also bullied a lot in school over my looks. So that's something that, again, really played mentally with me. And I had a lot of self-hatred. It was at a point where I couldn't look at myself in the mirror. People really came up to me and made me feel like I was like a monster and everything. So it took me years to find the happiness. And that's where, I think there's people that are missing. I think there should be more people that are positive influences to make people, realize that there can be good after bad situations. It's not, you can, when you come out of things, you can come out and shine. You know what I mean? It's that's basically the idea that I really want to give with my music, and hopefully, just maybe hopefully bring an ounce of hate down in the world, because I know the world right now kind of needs that with everything that's going on. I think now more than ever it needs a little bit more of love. So that's what's most important with my music and the movement I'm going with.
Well, thank you for doing that. I mean, kudos for what you're doing, because I know on your videos, I mean, you're very out front and forward with what your past was, and and I think that especially with men, it's one thing I've noticed, just with mental health, growing up in my own situation, that sometimes men are looked upon as being weak-minded or weak when they talk about needing help or to talk about things like traumas and things like that. And I think that the more men that talk about something like this and what you're doing on your social media is helping, that stigma go away. And I think so, again, good for you for doing that, and don't ever stop. And, and I think that it's nice that you are able to talk about it without feeling that hesitation. So, good for you.
No, I appreciate it. And I really just think, I'm someone that I used to struggle, like, finding myself. I had a really hard time. I tried to fit in with people when I shouldn't have. Basically, I've always been authentic to myself. I've always wanted to be different than other people and everything. But after I was really bullied in high school, I put like a shell over myself that, I just didn't, I wasn't myself anymore. And I kind of tried to be like the others, but then I realized that people loved me more when I was myself. And that's also another thing that I really want to like push with my music, is to be yourself and to love yourself, because that's me personally. I realized, like, as soon as I started being myself, like, it's crazy, like, how life changes. Like, I think it's so important to be authentic and to be yourself today. And it's
no, I think that's well said. I love that. And you're absolutely right. I think, and we talk to a lot of musicians that I think, try to conform with what's out there in social media and try to do what people are liking. But the more successful musicians or actors or whomever, are the ones that are authentically themselves. And then they're, and Roy Hamilton, I mentioned this on a lot of shows actually. And Roy Hamilton says, be yourself, be authentic, and your tribe will come, right?
That's it.
And that's exactly right. And that's something that I think, people need to realize. It might take time, or it might not happen overnight, but the more you're yourself and you sing the kind of music that you are, it's authentically you're going to have other people that it touches and that it strikes a chord with, and they're going to enjoy listening to your music, and they're going to be your best fans, your super fans, so to speak.
Yeah, exactly.
So just always be yourself. So what are we looking at for the future now that this release of Deja Vu is out there? I mean, there's got to be some upcoming projects that you're working on.
Yeah, well, there's a little bit of secret things that I can't really talk about right now that's going on a little bit with Roy still and everything. I also have a little bit of more press that's coming out for Deja Vu, but I'm also planning on collaborating and also starting to do live shows probably in my area and everything. I'm in contact with actually an agent for that. So things are looking bright for the future, and there's a lot of music coming out. I write every day, and I have a lot of good stuff. I actually have an album that's going to be on the way. I'm going to be announcing that soon, but that's something that I'm keeping under wraps. But I'm super excited for that, for the album that should be coming out probably by the end of this year, probably, I would say.
Well, we're excited about that. Talk about some of your influences. I mean, what you said, you grew up with music around. What are some of the, some artists, I guess? I know you talked about System of a Down and people like that, but, a lot of times singers have multiple influences, I guess,
right.
People that they try, not just emulate, but they enjoy their music. Like I listen to country music, I listen to classical, I listen to hard rock, heavy metal. So do you have other influences out there that kind of help shape you?
Yep. I have actually a ton. Like I could probably go days and talk to you about so many of them. My influence, because I grew up with a lot of genres, but I would say my main influences though, Kid Cudi is one. He's one of my favorite rappers growing up when I was really in my going through my rough times growing up in high school and everything. He was like the artist that I could relate to the most.
Yeah.
Because he was like one of the first rappers to come out and really rap about like depression and everything, because it was like so looked down upon that time, and everything. So he kind of like opened up the doors for that. So he's one of my favorites, and I love his style, and he influenced a little bit of my style. And I would also say I'm a huge fan of Frank Ocean. I love his style a lot too. He's a big influence of mine. Sublime, I'm a huge fan of Sublime. That's a little bit of an older band.
Yep. My era.
But that's it. I mean, I'm a little bit everywhere with my music. I like Styx. Styx is another one of my big influences. I really love Styx, the Eagles. Yeah. I'm a huge fan of the Eagles, and one of my guilty pleasures, is Katy Perry. I saw her live. I love that.
Yeah, she's good. She's good. Yeah.
So like, I have a bunch of influences and everything. I just have so much of a love for music that I like fusioning musics and genres together. So it's but I would say those are probably my main influences and like the artists that I look up the most to. But I could probably think of so many more. So many more that I respect and that I'm influenced by, but they're definitely at the top.
Look down the road. There's so many talented musicians that come out of Canada, and Bryan Adams and Alanis Morissette, and there's like who's who in Canada. So do you want to be looked at someday as being one of those greats that come out of Canada? That's something that, like I said, I love a lot of Canadian artists, and so is that something that one of your goals is to be playing those arenas at some point?
I mean, yeah, it's definitely a dream of mine for sure. I mean, Canada is known to make extremely good talent. That's for sure.
Oh yeah.
With everybody that comes out of Canada, we definitely have some talented group. But I mean, that would be 100% a dream, and it's
Yeah.
definitely something I'm striving for. Like, I mean, to be the best version of myself, and what
Yeah.
comes out of this. Again, my main focus in this isn't like fame, it isn't money or anything of that sort. It's really more to get my message out right now, and to really focus on, like, the music is on the side. I love doing music and everything, but it's really the message with my music that I really am focusing on right now. And yeah,
Yeah.
that's the goal
Well,
right now.
that's
And
awesome. I mean, good for you. And before we go, I guess, what do you want your legacy to be? What do you want to leave behind when it's all said and done, to not only your fans, but to just the world in general?
I just want to be remembered for the right reasons, I guess, to be one of the ones that helped shape a little bit of, again, the stigmas against men's health, and hopefully bring a little bit more of the hate down in the world, and the legacy with my music. I mean, that would be great to become a legend in the music industry for sure. But yeah, it's that'd be the best legacy, would just to be remembered for the right reasons, I think.
Yeah, well, that's a great start. And, first of all, thank you for being on the show, Nick. It's a pleasure, and really nice to talk to you. And I was looking forward to this tonight. So, I appreciate you joining the show and taking the time to do this. And, best of luck to the new single, Deja Vu, which is out now, everybody, on streaming platforms. So everybody listening, go check that out. Again, Nick, just great to have you on, and best of luck to you.
Thanks, Dave. I really appreciate it. And thanks for having me.